Growing over a startling data point, most of the carjackings involve juvenile offenders, and as WGN's Dana Reddick reports now, sometimes they're younger than you'd expect.
Chicago police believe a recent carjacking suspect could be a South Shore elementary student. Today we talked with friends of a woman he attacked late last week.
She came face to face with a young boy that couldn't be any more than 10 or 11. He punched her in the face and said, "Give me your keys." There was no empathy, no compassion, nothing.
Compared to this time last year, carjackings in the city are down 25.5%. But of the 80 arrests for vehicular hijacking so far, 69% have been juvenile offenders.
What up, everyone? Thank you for coming back to my channel. I do appreciate it. I recently watched that Chris Rock special, what is it? Selective Outrage. And this story, it brings to mind one of the jokes that Chris Rock made. He was talking about his daughters, how one of them, when they were younger, they would bite other kids. And he asked the question, he said, "Now, do you all think that me and her mama taught her to bite other children?" Okay, so I pose that same question when it comes to this adolescent. The woman said he couldn't have been any older than 11, maybe as young as 10. He punched her in the face. The lady said he showed no compassion, no remorse, no empathy, no empathy. And so I know a lot of, because listen, don't get me wrong, I know that a lot of this starts in the household and the parents are definitely at fault. But where does the idea to do something like that come from? That's what I mean. I don't believe, and in some cases we do know that there are parents that actually encourage criminal behavior, but for the most part, that's not the case. The parents, they may not be good parents in a lot of ways, but they're not actively encouraging their kids to go and commit criminal acts to ruin their lives. Now, that's my question. Where does a 10-year-old possibly, or 11-year-old, get the idea? Where does he get the mindset that I need to make money by robbing older women, taking their belongings, punch them in the face, take their purse, whatever? This is the way that I need to make money. Where does he get that idea? And that's my main question. Because we see on social media all the time, whether it's YouTube or Instagram, Facebook, whatever, we see 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds doing great. They're, tackling all sorts of tough algebra problems and becoming entrepreneurs. They're starting their own businesses. We see little kids doing all type of great things like that, but not in these neighborhoods, not in like a specific, I would say, place in America, a specific demographic in America. And I just wonder why that is. How is it that kids growing up in the same country, a lot of times in the same state, a lot of times in the same cities, can have vastly different perspectives on what they want to do or what they're gonna do with their lives? One kid in a 2-parent home, okay, having parents that are influential and not having a lot of negative influences in his life or her life, they have an exponentially greater chance of doing something great with or good with their life, or just maybe if not doing anything good, just not getting caught up in a lot of crazy stuff like this. Robbery, 10 years old, 11 years old. Can you imagine? What kind of influence, what kind of outside influence is causing this sort of mindset in a 10-year-old or an 11-year-old? The faceless felon, I have to tell you, when I was 10, I was not a criminal in any form, any way. I didn't think like that at all. And I can tell you for a fact, none of my family were criminals. I mean, none of them influenced me to do anything. Now, they weren't perfect, obviously. I grew up in a broken home. My dad, he basically denied I was his for a long time. So, you know, that aspect is always there, or a lot of times it's there, but there's definitely more to it than just blaming the parents. Of course, you know, at the end of the day, each individual does know right from wrong. And so even at 10 years old, you know you shouldn't do that. But there's a strong influence to do it. And that's my thing. That's where, and so now if you think about this, just think about this, because recently we saw where a kid knocked on the wrong door, almost got killed. He got shot a few times, he lived. A lady in New York pulled into the wrong driveway. The man shot, killed her. In another state, I don't know where it was, I can't remember, some teenage high school cheerleaders accidentally, one I think got in the wrong car, got out, I think they were apologizing. This dude got out and shot him. So I'm saying that to say, pretty soon I would not be surprised if we see 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds just getting shot because you have people that will say, oh, well, I was afraid. I mean, 10-year-olds are out here robbing, carjacking. You heard the numbers, 80 arrests this year for vehicular violence, carjacking. 69% of that 80 are juvenile offenders. Now, you know, obviously that's not necessarily as young as 10, but it's under 18. It's what I'm saying is this influence is having a huge impact on the youth. It's getting them young, ruining them before they even have a chance, before they even understand what they've done to their lives. And I mean, what do you really do? What can you do? The parent of this kid who did this probably does not even know that her son is out in the streets doing these things. And I'd be willing to bet that she's not advocating or actively pushing him to do it. But I could also definitely believe that she has some holes in her parenting. And I don't mean to say she like it's the woman's fault. I'm just saying because it's very likely that there's no father in the house. Okay, but if he is, then that's just even worse. But this is where this influence has taken us. It's now reaching as young. I mean, don't get me wrong. We know that a 6-year-old, I think, took a gun to school or something, and we've seen videos of even like 3-year-olds holding guns. So, but again, even all that, I know that we can all agree that there's a common thread. Some sort of influence that's influencing specifically these neighborhoods, these subset of teenagers, of kids, this demographic, and it's not affecting any of the other demographics or areas, neighborhoods nearly as much. The one thing that we have that none of the other neighborhoods have is violent music. I don't really see any way around it, but I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's my perspective. But anyhow, thank you all again for listening to my video. Like, comment definitely, and subscribe if you feel inclined. I do appreciate it. Until next time, stay safe, stay free.